Today is May 23rd. We've got Sharp Stats. We've got Bantering with Boone. We've got a lot of fun stuff to discuss because the Yanks are rolling. Vibes are good. Let's talk some Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, episode 910. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. It's brought to you by SeatGeek, and producer BBD is behind the screen. Jake, we had a nice off day yesterday. On Monday, we have a three-game set coming up with Baltimore, who's a pretty good and worthy opponent right now. How was your off day?
Brought to you by our event at the Taylor, June 3rd. So we'll see you guys there. There's still a couple tickets left. We're almost sold out. So if you're thinking about coming, June 3rd at the Taylor, 5:30.
Yeah, and put
Yankees,
this at the top of the
Dodgers?
show and then do it again. It'll be like, this is coming up later. Moment,
Whoa,
but
did it happen twice? James Davis. My off day was good. Hung out with Nudes. Checked in on the NBA, though, Jim, I don't know if you know this, but they're eyeing a double conference final sweep before what would be the championship game. So if the Celtics get swept tonight, there will be, I think, 9 days without basketball before their championship.
That stinks.
Which is crazy.
And the playoffs have been so good, and then this round, two sweeps and doesn't start.
So that's pretty crazy. And hey, that leaves a nice little window for baseball. And I guess that's, Jim, you heard it in my voice the other day when I referenced like you at the beach. I'm in this weird purgatory where it's like I'm full blown ready for summer. Mm-hmm. And it, we're in that Northeast holding pattern of like, it could be here June 1st or it could not be here till like July 4th.
Yeah.
So I'm in a little bit of a funk there. And I'm excited to see this Orioles series, man.
I'm going down the shore 2 days.
For sure.
On Thursday.
The Orioles are what, 2.5 games ahead of us or 3 games up on us that like, if the Yankees really drop it this series, we're going to be in full tilt.
Excitement mode.
Eat the Rays. Like, you'll be yelling that.
Who won yesterday?
Rays, obviously. Jays are dying.
Damn.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted them to clip them on their way out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that really wants one of the AL East teams to go full sad boy.
Dude, definitely. I mean, Red Sox have to at some point, right?
So I guess that's if you're looking at boxes to check, I would rather, there's a lot of season to catch the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather the Sox or Jays go full sad boy, you're out. I'd rather check that box first, and then we'll figure out the Rays,
Makes sense. I just don't want them to get a big lead again.
Right.
Would love to keep them.
So I guess
they're done.
Whoever the Rays play next,
They're April
they
schedule,
should
dude.
win. It's a very easy schedule.
Like, don't get me wrong. Crazy impressive. The Yankees did the same thing last April.
The Rays are good.
The Rays are really good.
But they played, like, the bad teams are really bad this year, and there's like 4 of them, and they played them a lot.
It's their whole schedule. So, and
when
they're
the
starting to
Yankees
get,
sweep the A's, and the Yankees sweep the Reds, it's like, ooh,
yeah,
we should catch up a
different tiers. So yeah, what's up with you, dog?
That's all.
Snoop.
That's all. Not much. I'm excited to chat, and I see what Katie's got for us.
Snoop-a-loop.
The sharpest of stats.
I love sharp stats. Should we just do them?
Let's do them. Nothing else going on, right?
Sharp stats are brought to you by Shady Rice. Shady Rice. I call them Shady Riz because when I wear them, that's how I feel. Shady Rays take on the sun. Wow.
Take on the sun.
It's pretty intense.
That's
world-class product.
bold.
That's just as good as any expensive pair you've ever worn. Durable frames, extremely clear optics like that. And they've got their lost and broken replacement guarantee. So basically, you get a pair of Shady Rays, you get them for life. They've been a huge partner with us in our Blitzball battle that's going on right now. We love Shady Rays. We're like partners for life. Like I've heard like our sales team talking about them, and everyone's like happy as a clam. So go to Shady Rays. Use code YANKS, and you have 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. You need 2 pairs this summer. Get yourself a pair. Get a friend a pair. Click the link in the description. Get yourself some sunnies.
Get yourself some sunnies. Katie Sharp.
Queen of stats here, and the Yankees are rolling. So we finally have something good to say here on the sharp stats. So now what I want to talk about is Gleyber Torres. And I know a lot of the chatter the earlier season has been about the increase in his walk percentage. And it is pretty remarkable. He does have the 10th largest increase in walk percentage among qualified hitters from last year to this year. But I think something even more incredible, and what I'd like to really highlight this week, is the decrease that he's had in his strikeout percentage. So he decreased his strikeout percentage by 10 percentage points, which is the 3rd largest decrease in strikeout percentage among qualified hitters from last year to this year. So he's got the 10th largest increase in walk percentage and the 3rd largest decrease in strikeout percentage. Pretty impressive combo right there. And the reasons for it are obvious. And probably very noticeable if anybody's watched Yankee games this season. He has decreased his whiff percentage, that's swing and miss percentage, by 6.1%, which is the 5th biggest decrease in Major League Baseball from last year to this year. And especially with two strikes, he's nearly cut that by 2/3, from 16% to 6%. So his whiff percentage with 2 strikes. And he's chasing less with 2 strikes also. He's cut that percentage in half. From 14% to 7%. So overall, he's becoming, I believe, a more complete hitter. He's not just selling out for power and home runs. And we see that with those 2-strike numbers I mentioned. His 2-strike OPS is now 62% better than league average. Last year, he was 7% below league average with 2 strikes. So a huge improvement there. He's hitting more batted balls to the opposite field. We'd love to see that with Gleyber. He's also, this whole new approach has made him a much better situational hitter. So he is scoring the runner on third with less than 2 outs at a rate of 58%. That's compared to a league average rate of 50%, and last year it was 38%. And he's also having more productive outs, and that's advancing a runner with no outs or driving in a runner with the 2nd out of the inning, which he has nearly doubled that rate. The one caveat is that his power is down a little bit. His hard hit percentage is down by about 10 percentage points, but I believe there's potential for more power as his max exit velo is unchanged from last year and his sweet spot percentage has increased. So a lot of good with Gleyber. We just got to get him hitting a few more hard hit balls. Talk to you guys next week.
Thank you very much to the Queen of Stats, Katie Sharp. This is I've tweeted about this. I've talked about it on the show. It's a Savant page that I continuously check because when you watch Gleyber's at bats, you can see the eye test that he is a different hitter. And it's kind of really fun to watch. I don't know what his stats are, his slash line on the season. I know they dipped back down and then they were on their way up. I don't know where they fall right now. Obviously, I can look it up and find it. But yeah, it's been very impressive with 2 strikes watching him bat. And if you haven't noticed it, put it in your brain as something to pay attention to because it is playing spoiler more. He's led to a lot of soft contact with 2 strikes, but those have, like Katie said, led to productive outs. And it's something visibly I've just noticed by watching games. Again, the Reds game, he scored, was it Volpe at third or someone at third? It was a 2-strike slider away, and he just punched it for the sac fly, like a productive out with 2 strikes. It's pretty good. People suck with 2 strikes.
It might have been one of Greg Allen's.
It was Allen's
runnings.
triple.
Yeah.
It was Allen's triple. Yeah.
So there's 2 things, and let's fully cover Gleyber. I do think there's a part of this that can pivot into a DJ discussion. Those 2 guys have been linked up for a little bit and some of the spots in the batting order. Gleyber, I thought it was interesting because I mentioned it last episode that with his final game in Cincinnati, because he hit a home run, his numbers were going to be eerily in line with his career numbers and his numbers from last year. which I do think there's more dissecting, and I think that's where Katie Sharp's stats are good news for us because he's got a 112 OPS plus. Last year in career, he's a 114 OPS plus. So, you're right around it for a 48-game sample. We know the walks and strikeout stuff has been really impressive. He's basically a walk to strikeout this year, which is insane because last year he was 39 walks, 129 punch-outs. And that's a major sign for a hitter that they're seeing the ball and reacting well. And that's why I loved Katie Sharp's stats at the end, that the hard hit rate and barrel rate is there because right now his on-base percentage is looking very impressive compared to last year, but the slugging is down a little bit. So if that slugging is coming, I'm excited for that because the other thing we have to put in our heads about Gleyber last year is one of the worst months in baseball history, the August. That if you take that out of Gleyber's, he's not a 114 OPS plus. He probably would have been like a 130 OPS plus guy. Like at that month, he was clearly in his head. He thought he was getting traded. He was probably told he got traded by his agent or someone because the Yankees had a trade for Pablo Lopez. So if you take that out, and I guess that's where I want Gleyber to go, is when we bring it back to the leadoff hitter conversation, that we'll see if Volpe ever has like a go stretch because you think in the Yankees' loins they want that, but that's a really big ask for a rookie hitter, especially ahead of Aaron Judge. That if Gleyber Torres can be the guy that wins our leadoff spot, because they love DJ down in the lineup a little bit. I love the walk numbers and everything Katie just gave us. It's just where Gleyber Torres' stat line is currently at. If he's going to be our leadoff guy, I do need the numbers to be a tick up from that.
Yeah, the batting average is not great right now. I want that to come up. I don't care that much about the slug. If he stays in the 430, 450 range slugging, that's fine. He has clearly two different approaches. We've seen this in the last couple of years, but he's actually perfecting it much better now. Like his slugging is really good on the first pitch, or if you look at like in 1-0 counts, 2-0 counts, he's slugging 570, a full count. He's slugging 600 and 0 strikes. So any 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, he has 1-3-0 hit. His slugging is really good. If you look at his, 2 strikes, he is with 2 strikes, his OPS now compared to the rest of the league with 2 strikes, he's got a 162 OPS plus. So he's way better than the rest of the league with 2 strikes. The slugging is 340. But he's putting the ball in play or working it to a walk eventually and getting on base. And I like that. I like his approach. He's not your typical leadoff hitter. I almost don't want him to change to become that. It's just like kind of by default that he's there.
Right, and that's where I was just looking at DJ's numbers before this, and they're I don't know, not where I thought DJ's numbers were. So it's just something to track because DJ did seem very comfortable in the leadoff spot. And as we bantered with Boone, which we're bantering with Boone in a little bit, they do love and seem to value Gleyber's versatility in the lineup, that he could be 1, 4, 6, like wherever that lands. That, I don't know, it's definitely going to be an intriguing part of this season for me because Volpe has the speed that if that guy's getting on base, if that guy's getting on base in the same realm as Gleyber, you want Volpe up there because of the havoc he can cause and the distraction he can be to a pitcher with Aaron Judge up. That leadoff spot in front of Judge is so important to where this Yankees offense can go.
Volpe transcends to the leadoff spot better, but not yet. I don't think the pressure's there. I mean, maybe after the All-Star break, if he really starts going, he's comfortable.
Right.
I'm not saying never this year, but right now I'd let him figure things out. And then by happenstance, like Gleyber just gets moved around, so he's there.
Yeah, I guess
he is really good at pitches per plate appearance. I was very surprised. Mm-hmm. Gleyber is averaging 4 pitches per plate appearance. That's the equivalent of having a batting average that starts with a 3. Like your upper echelon MLB player if you're averaging 4 pitches per plate appearance, which he is. I was shocked by that.
He's letting it eat on that first pitch, but if he doesn't, it feels like he's having extended at bats.
Yeah.
I guess in my head, and it's a little bit of a mental hurdle for me, if he's going to be this Gleyber Torres that's showing a fantastic eye this season, I almost need it to trend up a little more and be like a 350 on base guy. Again, he's at 338, so with 2 good games against Baltimore, the numbers can be there. I kind of want that OBP to be north of 350, or have the slugging come back and just have the top of our lineup be threat city with Gleyber, Judge, Rizzo, and ideally Stanton coming back.
Man, he had a really bad stretch. The last Cleveland... Oh, he didn't even play that last Cleveland game. So the Minnesota... I mean, I guess all the Yankees were not playing great.
Yeah,
then.
that was funky time.
But Minnesota, and then the Angels, which they did win that series, and then Toronto. That homestand. Was that their second homestand? That is a brutal stretch for him. I wonder if after that to now, if the numbers are, no, they're not. They're the same. He needs to take up the on base. Maybe you maybe it is what you're saying. Either cut out that first swing or those big swings and just be the pesty guy the whole time. But that's not going to help him in a contract year that's coming up after this year.
After this year.
Still.
Yeah, no, I
think he's better suited for the 6 hole, but
that's kind of where I'm at, and that's so part of the reason that my brain that mid Katie Sharp jumped to DJ. I was like, where are DJ's numbers at? DJ's had a little bit of a funk these last 5 games, 1 for 17, and that's really changed his numbers. Because six games ago, DJ was 275, 344, 801, and I was like, I like those numbers. Right now, DJ LeMahieu sits 252, 324, 737. So that's after a slumpy stretch, and that's baseball. So hopefully that goes away. But I don't know, something to track, because if DJ, I guess it's a mental exercise for me, because in theory, in my head, I've seen what DJ can offer from the leadoff spot, and if he's right, that's electric. But what DJ is supposed to be kind of game-changing for is splitting up Judge and Stanton, because it's a totally different approach. And I guess I need to see that, but I haven't seen Stanton there. And then I don't know.
And Rizzo's going to do that now.
Does that make Stanton your? So then it would it would be Gleyber,
DJ 5,
Rizzo, or Gleyber, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, DJ.
Yeah, I believe that's what they want, but they want Volpe leading off or someone else that has a better skill set. But Gleyber has the second highest pitches per plate appearance on the team, which is kind of nuts. It's Judge. And Judge is he is good. I mean, every fucking Judge number is really good. Donaldson was, this is last year. Hold on. Donaldson was good last year at it. So Gleyber's 71st. He's in the top 100. This comes down by the end of the year, but Judge is 14th, averaging 4.3 pitches per plate appearance. Gleyber's averaging 4. But even, Volpe's 3.8, DJ LeMahieu's 3.8, Rizzo's 3.8. I was shocked by that. It doesn't feel that way because he swings at the first pitch almost every at-bat.
That's at 8.
Yeah. But the 2-strike approach is really nice. Really nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If that walk to strikeout ratio stays around there, that's very valuable. Think about, and what we're talking about, 2 strikes, if Gleyber Torres, when his lead-up spot comes back around, if he gives you the best shot to extend an inning to let Judge hit again, because, every time it's that ironic part of the Judge home run chase. In theory, every time Judge comes up leading off an inning, it's not a wasted at-bat. It's obviously it's Aaron Judge, and he's got a really good chance to get on base, and he might because they can walk him easily. But, think about an inning. If it's the 5th inning and a pitcher's on their 80th pitch, there's a runner on first and Gleyber's up, or whoever the leadoff hitter is. If Gleyber with 2 strikes can flick a ball to right field, and now there's 2 on, it's the starting pitcher's 20th pitch of the inning and Judge is up, that's when you win games.
Yeah.
That is the moment. So
this is the moment.
I'm very interested to see where Gleyber keeps going. And it feels good, and like what Katie said at the end, it feels like that slugging should tick up a little bit. And I think I think we will see that. I think after watching his home run in Cincinnati and even that easy sacrifice fly, Gleyber truly does have an inside-out swing that is built for right field at Yankee Stadium.
He does.
He, full-blown does.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a contact guy. That juice ball got in his head a little bit about swinging for the fences.
Sure did. Would have got in mine, too.
Yeah.
I'm 22 and I'm hitting 38 homers for the Yankees. Yeah, man.
Pretty insane.
If I did that right
try
now,
to do that again.
If I did that right now, I'd be pretty hype with myself.
Even more than if you were 23.
It'd be crazy. It'd be
you'd
like this.
You'd be way more excited now than
The
at 23.
storyline in sports would
You'd
be
be
nuts.
like cocky at 23. You'd be like, "Yep, told you I had it in me."
YouTuber hits 38 homers for the Yanks. How'd this even happen?
That's how they'd call you, YouTuber?
I don't know. Probably. I think that'd be the easiest out for
I
them.
think they'd say podcaster.
I don't know.
Okay. Let us know what you
YouTube's
think.
kind of bigger than the podcast.
Yeah. Not for us.
Not this show. But.
Boone, where are you?
Jim, bantering with Boone.
Yeah.
BWB, as it's being called in the streets,
BWB.
is brought to you by
Boy,
Vizio. Maybe you're watching on a Vizio. Vizio has award-winning TVs and sound bars at insane prices. Vizio, value. Just connect all those dots in your head. 4K screens under $500. And it's perfect for catching baseball all year long. If you got an MLB.TV subscription, link to your Amazon Prime account, then stream live games on Amazon Prime Video. They've got their Watch Free Plus that offers MLB Network totally free right out of the box. Vizio, the MVP of value, premium performance for surprisingly low prices. Head over to Vizio.com to check out how you can elevate your viewing experience all season long. Whatever your budget or size of your home, Vizio has you covered with the perfect TV and soundbar combo. Click the link in the description. Go get a Vizio TV or 10.
Go Vizio.
Baseball.
Booney, things are going well. Good to see you. Off day
Good to be
crew.
seen.
Good to be. Hey, we're gonna hit you with our journalism stuff, and then we'll get into this fun stuff. Hey, Stanton update. I think last we heard games could be coming this week, and then I guess Rodon or Canely, if you got anything there too.
So G's doing well. He is very close. I know he's going to be doing baseball activities with us this week, and then we'll make a decision on, rehab games, not rehab, all that kind of stuff. So it's getting very close. He's doing well. Rodon is here in New York. He got up here this weekend, so he's transferred his rehab. So he'll be with us, which is good. I have not seen him yet. Obviously, it's pretty early as we tape this. So I'm kind of here before all the players. But he's doing well. He's been out to 120 feet or 110 feet. And then Canely, I actually watched his second rehab go around on Sunday on video actually this morning, and he looks good. He feels good. Looks like Tommy. So he is now coming up here, and he will go to, I don't know if it's Somerset or Scranton next. I don't know where the schedule lies, but I think he's due to throw, I think tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. That sounds like fun stuff.
Yeah, we're moving in a decent direction here.
Stan coming back, adding him. I actually don't know who I'm more excited about, Stan or Canely, because I just want, the bullpen has been amazing, but it's also like your decisions are somewhat made for you, it seems, because it's just like who's available. Like you haven't had too many options where it's like, well, I can go to one of these three guys. It's kind of like, well, we got these three guys for these 4 innings. So they've been doing incredibly well. As an awesome road trip. I want to talk to you about you being ejected.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you know the math and the pace of your ejections. Someone on Reddit made it very simple to follow. You are on an all-time career pace. You are getting ejected more, and Bell, because you guys both got ejected the same game. Your rate is more than Cox and Weaver. Did you know that?
I did not. Oh, I heard someone told me 29 the other day. So,
Every 26.1 games.
Are you an angry guy? What's going on here?
oh no. I mean, I think you guys know me well. I'm not. So I'm going to try and slow. I don't want to keep that pace. I will try to slow that pace. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Maybe we'll hopefully it's just we're consider this at this point a small sample size.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you think, with Bell as well, it's in your blood? Like you grew up, your dad was a manager, your grandpa's a manager, same with him, come from a line of managers
David's even more mild-mannered than me, I think, but he is also he has a switch that I don't have. He goes to another level. He's when he gets mad, it's blackout mad.
Yeah, because he was pretty calm his first one. I didn't make a video on it, but you could read his lips, and he's like, "Why did you eject me?" And he was just very matter of fact, like, "What? Why?" And then it real. Oh, I'm ejected. Okay, I'll yell about everything that's been pissing me off this whole game, and he went a little crazy. It was fun to see. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't think you were going to be, those are all-time great manager ejections, and you're on pace for a career high with 10. So I think slow down, but might as well get your career high at this point.
No, don't want to do that.
Okay. And why? The money or just internal feeling or, does your wife get on you? Like, what's the biggest reason you don't like it?
Well, I don't like getting fined.
Okay.
I don't know. My goal is not to get kicked out of games. I mean, that's, and my daughter, usually my family doesn't say much about my ejections. It's just kind of not spoken about really. But my daughter did, apparently she texted me that she liked my gum toss or something. And I had to tell her to do as I say, not as I do.
It's good advice.
I had to go with that.
Mickey Mantle advice.
She wasn't sure what that meant. I'm like, really? So, yeah.
You get ejected in the first inning. I mean, isn't it just like an off day? You're just giving yourself back-to-back off days?
Yeah, no, that's what Rizzo was getting on me. Rizzo and Judgy like, oh, I see you. Okay. It wasn't that. I shouldn't have got ejected. And not, I didn't get an explanation. So I was a little upset. On the replay, you can't come out and argue replay, which I was trying to be very clear that I'm not arguing the replay. I want to know what they said to you, like what was the explanation, and they just kept saying you can't argue replay, and so I clapped back a little bit at that. Yeah,
there's a difference between arguing and just like getting clarification, I guess, but they don't want you to get that sometimes. Maybe they don't have it. All right. There's a question that we've been talking about asking you for a while with our audience, but then there's more pressing things. But you did have an extra inning game this series. So this is a question about extra inning games with the runner on second. And it's kind of for you, but also to like all managers and all baseball brains out there, because this is something we've been trying to understand why we don't see it happen more. If you're the away team and it's tied, and the runner on second, he scores, the game's over. How come we don't see teams look at the first two batters that are coming up, decide which one they want to attack, and then the other one just put him on first? Because if he scores, it doesn't matter. The game's already over.
You mean if you're the road team?
Yeah, if you're the away team.
So it'd be bottom 10.
So it'd be bottom.
Well, I think
it's an extra out.
That does happen, and it is in play.
Okay, I thought it would almost be automatic sometimes. Like, well, the only thing he does is provide a double play, unless you have two guys who think your best chance is like a strikeout, Right. But if you look at those first two hitters, it doesn't happen as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, I think the one. I think
the strikeout comes in play a little bit there if you have a guy that you feel like is absolutely not going to bunt, because the bunt comes more in play there if you're the home team and the visiting team doesn't score, right? So that opens up the bunt, in my eyes, to more people. Now, there's still, though, several guys on each team that aren't going to bunt in that situation. So you're up against it a little bit, obviously, having not scored. So even if it's a good player there, you might take your shot at getting the strikeout because you know they're not just going to give themselves up in that situation. And then you might be in a position to walk the next guy to set up a double play.
Yeah, I actually like it better as trying to get the first out. Once you have one out, and then it's an inning-ending double play, the second guy, because then you're a pitch away from ending it, especially with the Yankees bullpen, so many ground ball guys.
Yeah, I think that's more in play than you guys think. Maybe there's been some cases where it hasn't happened, but on the road, that's more in play than you think.
Okay.
That's where we originally were going to ask it after in Tampa, Albert Abreu comes in bottom 10. This is a couple weeks ago, and he gets Ramirez to fly out to center, runner in advance.
Right.
And then Paredes was up. He slaps one, wins the game. But I guess that was one of our moments where we were like, you got the first out. Like, give yourself the chance for the double play.
Who's up? Who's behind him?
I get it now. Let's see. So who did I say? Paredes does it.
Lefty. So you're probably going to take your chances with Paredes there.
Yeah, Paredes is up, and I think Josh Lowe had come in and he pinched hit and he was on deck. So yeah, I see the righty lefty, but it's also, I don't know, if you get a chopper up the middle, you're batting again.
Okay.
All right. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one specific example of a question that we just kind of had for a while. I was like, I think you should just get yourself one pitch away. All right, next up, Jake.
Obviously, big news through Yankee land. Hicksy gets DFA'd and Greg Allen comes into town. Obviously, we don't need you to walk through, there's parts of that process that are obvious. Aaron Hicks is really well liked, and, telling him's probably not the most exciting part of your day or whoever's got to relay that message. But I guess, when do you first find out? Because, we live on the internet
Allen.
And we find out about Greg Allen. And I guess walk us through that process a little bit. And then the other part that we don't know, and being, again, a manager, like, do you address the team after that? Because, Aaron Hicks, like you talked about in your interviews, long tenured Yankee, 8 years or something like that, that's obviously a big mood change and, I don't know, an elephant in the clubhouse if you don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah. So obviously, that's obviously difficult. Aaron's been here a long time and, and it's been tough the last couple of years, last year and this year, and having some different injuries that have, tripped him up a little bit and certainly affected him. So, that's difficult in and of itself. But so, really, we knew Greg Allen had an out. So that was on our radar, a few days before. Maybe the front office radar even longer than that, but it was, kind of on my radar, a few days before that might be something that might be in play. And then really it just came down to when it was available, like the fit, I just feel like, Greg Allen's done. First of all, Greg Allen's in a good place. Feel like skill set wise, he's still very much the same player. It was 23 for 23 stolen bases in AAA. Like, he's running well. He's been hitting well. He's played this role well. He's played this role with us well. So to me, it just came down to a better fit for the role and how many actual, starts, regular play is there for Aaron when, the role probably presents itself better for Greg Allen. And that's where the decision kind of ultimately comes down. But still difficult when, we've been through a lot with Aaron and Aaron's had a lot of great moments. He's had some really strong seasons with us. He's had some really great moments in the postseason. So it's difficult and, try to be respectful of that. And, but ultimately it just came down to, I think, just the role was a difficult one, I think, for Aaron.
Yeah. It was kind of Greg Allen was part of that wave in 2021 where, and this is just kind of like, fan speculation, but we saw athleticism on full display. That 2021 team was pretty slow. They were, it was a lot of ground ball double plays, and Cashman has addressed that at the end of the year. He said, we wanted to get more athletic. We want to get more speed, all that. And it seemed like that 10-game window where you had Wade and Allen, just balls in play
Velasquez.
and running and Squid like maybe opened eyes or just kind of like cemented, at least in our heads, like, oh yeah, that is nice. And Allen was part of that. And then Cashman says we want to get more athletic. And now I love the balance of the team between speed. I think he's a great addition off the bench as well. And like that triple he hit was kind of blinding speed. That was nuts.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. You know, he's already got the stolen base in a big spot. You know, as the ghost runner, like it's a big tag up. Not a lot of guys are able to tag up on that play. That puts Judgy in a good spot where they have to bring the infield in. Now all of a sudden you open up the field a little bit for him more. So I think he's really cut out for the role. And being a switch hitter, can play all three.
Yeah.
So when spots start, you can pick your spots. But having that weapon over there off the bench that can serve a lot of purposes is really nice. And he can really defend in the outfield too.
Yeah. Hey, when Stan comes back, I'm skipping ahead on you, Jake, but when this was Jake's thought. When Stan comes back and he slides into that lineup and, you know, whatever the 4-hole, if Gleyber stays leadoff and DJ stays 5-hole, that's a one lefty lineup, or two if you make sure, you know, the left fielder is a lefty off the bench that day. It'd be like Bowers, as Waldo with the right split, blah, 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 blah. Is that going to be something where like, that's not that many? And usually you guys have always liked the lefties, and I'm guessing if Stan's DHing, Calhoun's not DHing nor playing the field. But, or I don't know if he's still with you guys when that comes, but you've liked putting the lefty kind of, even if the skill set isn't, you know, the fifth hitter, like that's been kind of to break up all the righties. When Stanton comes back, is there any concern about being, you know, potentially 8 out of 9 righties?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you pick your spots. You know, obviously, I mean, in a perfect world, you always have balance, right? But it's not always perfect, and so you pick your spots where if you say it's the 8 out of 9 righties, you know, that's going to be a day where maybe you're facing, a pitcher that's not maybe first of all maybe a lefty, but second of all maybe not a heavy split starting pitcher, or depending what their bullpen looks like, where you have a tougher lefty. You still have most of our, extras or even guys that might be in the lineup are left-handed. So you can pick your days where you still have your 2, 3, maybe even 4 lefties in there on a given day, depending on the matchup. So just try and be smart about it, and also not get ahead of yourself where you start like, oh, what this looks like, because the season and the roster can change on a dime unexpectedly. So we'll try and put our best foot forward always, and hopefully there's some balance mixed in there.
When talking about balance and righty-lefty splits, Ian, Clark, and the Orioles, they potentially could go 4 lefties right out the gates in Game 3 of this upcoming series. Now, I've asked about this a bunch and talked about the opener. You used it against with the Blue Jays with Brito, and it worked really well. That's got to be in play, right? I mean, if the bullpen, everything goes accordingly and you have an arm available to use an opener for Clark? Yeah,
I mean, we'll see. I mean, but that feels like far away right now. That's a few days out. We got the start of a series today, and we'll see how the bullpen usage unfolds in the next couple of days and see where we're at. We're obviously going to need a starter for, was it Friday, Saturday? So we'll figure it out.
Was that when Domingo comes back? When?
No, Domingo's back Monday. So we need a spot starter or something Friday or Saturday.
And is there anything with all the off days this month, to getting a little funky with the rotation, to go into 4-man when you can in June? Or
it's May 23rd, boys.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
You got some guys who give you length.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Look, we'll see where we are. We don't have another off day for 10 days. We got 9 straight right now.
So then what is it, like 3 and 6 days?
And we're missing a start. So we got a lot of things to consider.
It's true.
Boone, I'm a vibes guy. You can probably tell by my Oswaldo necklace, my Harrison Bader T-shirt, and my general swagger.
He was right. He wrote all that down.
General.
And I'm laughing because we've done some serious baseball stuff. And hey, the vibes are good. Yankees are one of the best team in baseball in May and all of that stuff. So let's land where we traditionally land with you and talk some Brad Wilkerson. He gets called Fat Boy. And we heard there was some ribbing internally. I think Meredith reported that some of the Yankees inside the clubhouse had discussed that. I guess what goes on there when, a bunch of guys, one of your buddies kind of gets the business end in an unfair way.
Yeah. I don't know. Brad Wilkerson did some raking back in his day. So
Sure did.
Okay.
he's been a nice addition to our staff. So it was uncalled for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rude.
And but he's taken it all in stride, and we're trying to keep it all in our dugout and our clubhouse. So I guess maybe there's been a little fun with it, but we don't like that. We don't like that shaming.
No, because he's not. I bet he can still hit in the cages a little bit. I know we talked about you on your 50th. Like, I bet Brad could still swing it.
No doubt. He had some serious pop too.
What was Bader talking about? Watching your highlights?
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah. Brett Weber put together a little Cincinnati highlight reel of me before our hitters meeting on the first day so the boys saw that a little bit. So I had to make, I was beating that drum. I was like, we got to represent Cincy. This place is important to me. We got to look good. And the guys picked me up big time. And Judge hits a homer right out of the chute, and he comes back and told me that was for me, and it was onward from there. But Webby put together a pretty good highlight reel, so made me look even better than definitely better than I was. That's for sure.
I like that. Oh, I have something. If we're, this is only May, let's not get ahead. I'm going all the way to September. Speaking of Webby, can you make sure Weber comes back if he's not with the team at the time for the next Blue Jays series? Because it's awesome if he just shuts them down again.
Oh, you're talking
Ryan Weber.
Yeah.
You're talking Ryan Weber.
Yeah. Web Dog. Yeah. Because that was some of the more fun.
Yes. Webby's been great, man. Ryan Weber, that is, pitching.
Yes.
He's been healing. So he's always awesome to have here, and especially when he goes out and picking up saves, closing teams out. Love it. Love to see it. Different look.
Very different look. Just kind of slinging it up there. A lot of movement. I think his whiff percentage is 0.
Great golfer.
Okay.
Great golfer.
Okay.
And you kind of see it in how he pitches. Kind of looks like a golfer, right?
I think you get, yeah. I think
he's like a +5, I think, Andy index. That's legit.
Not a bad life.
You put Bader in center, put Allen in left, Judge in right, if that's your best outfield alignment, and bring Weber in, and it's basically, they just get the shag because just going to get fly balls, and outs. I think he's got 0 whip percentage, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
Balls in play.
Just stay off the barrel. We're good.
Any concern with Bader diving so much? Or no? I don't have any, but I know Judge has tempered his diving because he got injured in 2019, and he's come out and said, like, I'm not going to go crazy.
I don't know. I just know when the ball goes up at center and kind of that first, like, extra base hit thought pops in your head, and here comes Harrison with his cape on. I love seeing that. He's such a difference maker out there, man.
It's fun.
It's eye-opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we got for you.
All right.
I'm going to make some face smashes next week. I dabbled with some. They weren't great, but I think I'm going to have some good ones for you.
All right. And maybe back to some trivia, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it all going. You guys you're playing so good. We were in such a good mood. We took the day off too. So,
All right.
We'll get back.
Playing
to
well.
Clark.
Playing well.
Playing well.
I disagree. I think it's been really good.
Not vocab guys over here.
All right. See you, Boone.
See you guys.
And there you have it. That was Boone, Aaron Boone. A little chill episode. The pitching is interesting, Jake, and I think they should not let Clark see that Orioles lineup unless they've won the first 2 games and they're just like, hey, go eat innings, Clarky, because we already won this series. If it's a rubber match, you can't have Clark face that lineup.
Boone Banter brought to you by Vizio. It's... Jim,
I understand they're in a tough spot.
I'm starting to rack my head a little more because what if I could tell you, what if they kept the bullpen fresco and they pushed Clark to San Diego?
And do the spot start bullpen day in Baltimore?
Could.
So
Against Baltimore. I don't know.
Cole Nestor bullpen?
Like if Cole and Nestor give you two
Yeah.
good outings and the bullpen's fresh, you could go that route with it.
Could you bring Davey back up? Is he on schedule / can he be? And then
Maybe
you would
eligible
send
by
like
now.
Web Dog down.
Yeah, I mean the burnout. I'm sure Weissert or Davey are one of the relievers that they could get 2 or 3 innings from. You could do something there.
Yeah, Davey's a little more stretched out. But yeah, I mean, if we're looking at a rubber match against the Orioles and
It'd be the 25th, and he pitched on the 10th, so 15 days would be that day.
yeah, interested. Just I understand Boone saying, it's May. We are down a player because he got suspended, and we don't have a lot of pitchers, and we're taxed. I get it. But in division against the Orioles, who are a good team, if it's like a rubber match, can't really let that happen.
What if it's not? What if the Yankees have won the first 2? Then are you okay?
I actually rather, depending on if bullpen's available,
Right.
do a straight bullpen day and save Clark. Or if you're using Clark, you need a 2-inning like opener, which is basically a bullpen day. So,
Yeah. Both guys.
Yeah.
What else did you like?
Ribbon of Brad, and it was good. It was a good episode. I mean, there was the Greg Allen stuff is interesting. He had an out, I guess. I didn't know that like he was going to be able to opt out of the Red Sox situation.
Yeah, I think you'd really like that because I don't know the ins and outs, but it was like a promotion clause that if he had an opportunity to be on another major league roster, the Red Sox basically had to trade him. So I'd love to talk to Cash because I'm sure he was drinking that up. Yeah. Like the Red Sox have to trade you to us.
So all those have to be public contracts? Like I don't know. There's no way for us to find that, I guess. Or
well, some guys with a certain number of service time, and he has 3 years. There's built-in opt-outs. I know part of the new CBA is that you can't, like all the opt-outs are like it's exactly like April 1st, June 1st.
So I wonder
they
if
said it like it's one of these.
It's a structured
3 days.
day. So like on May 15th, all AAA players with X amount of service time, if offered a 40-man spot on another team, you have to make that trade. Is that that's kind of wild. I wish we had a list.
Could be negotiable as well. I don't know how the agents, how far they can get involved, but yeah, I was
like, how does that go? How do the Yankees decide we'll give you Diego Hernandez for Greg Allen?
You want to hear, Jakey shower thoughts, who hasn't been out a lot this year, haven't been showering, is that, I was like, how, if you ranked every outfielder in Major League Baseball, eligible for Major League Baseball, so, taking out players in Japan and stuff, Cuba, where would Greg Allen ranked? Like, is he like the 75th best outfielder? Because in theory, the top 90 best outfielders in the world are eligible for Major League Baseball, would be starting outfielders, but that's not how it works because you play prospects and you try other guys. So I was wondering, in the realm of Major League outfielders, where does Greg Allen rank? Sound off below. He's pretty good. Yeah. Like, is he 75th, but he's just in this weird middle area where other teams have to play young guys to see if they are good? People kind of know who Greg Allen is, or they think they know who Greg Allen is.
His skill set's great for a bench
He was in that
role.
weird AAA limbo that actually gets him basically a guaranteed Yankees roster spot the rest of the year. That's also pretty crazy to think about.
Oh, they can't lose him? Are we in one of those situations?
I mean, they can, but think about the dramatics they went through, calling him like the perfect bench piece, and this is the guy
he gets a real chance.
This is the guy we moved on from Hicks from. Like, Greg Allen would have to be, I don't know. I think he'd have to be very, very bad for the Yankees to move on.
I think he'd have to be very bad, and the Yankees would have to get like all the way healthy, which no team does.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, let's do a quick guess the lineup tonight. If it's
a little GTL brought to you by our event at the Taylor, June 3rd. So we'll see you guys there. There's still a couple tickets left. We're almost sold out. So if you're thinking about coming, June 3rd at the Taylor, 5:30.
Yeah, and put
Yankees,
this at the top of the
Dodgers?
show and then do it again. It'll be like, this is coming up later.
Whoa,
but
did it happen twice?
Yeah, because we forgot to do it at the top of the show.
Deja vu?
Yeah. Handful of tickets available. Go get them.
Deja vu freaks me out.
Yeah, it is. It is very scary.
Coming off an off day, and they're facing right-handed pitcher Kyle Bradish.
Something kind of Bradish.
You've always liked the name Brad. Be honest.
Brad?
Brad.
Well, I have a good friend named
You
Brad.
have a good friend named Brad.
It's my DJ name. I don't know if that counts as me
It's
liking
I
it.
mean, stop right there. You just said it's your DJ name.
Yeah, but I don't know if you like your DJ name. Sometimes you get pigeonholed into DJ names.
Give one example of that.
DJ Yup? Maybe he's wanted to change it.
Also, your favorite DJ
Yeah, but
name.
maybe he doesn't want to be DJ Yup anymore.
No, get off of that.
You get stuck.
You
man.
like the name Brad. And Kyle being Bradish makes you laugh. So who is he seeing tonight in the Yankees lineup?
Gleyber.
Gleyber. That's
Rizzo.
a good guess. Yep.
No, sorry. Gleyber. Judge. Rizzo.
Yes.
LeMahieu. Calhoun. Bader. Volpe. Bowers. Higgy.
So you've got no Oswaldo, Greg Allen on the bench, no IKF.
Maybe Oswaldo over Bader then.
No Rortvet?
Maybe.
Bader's 2 for
Ooh,
4 homer
Cole.
and a double off Bradish. So
I think Cole's going to go with Higgy. Unless he's been doing bullpens with Rortvet.
Yeah, I'm interested in that bottom of the lineup. Would they?
Could be Cabrera over Bowers. They're going to try and get 3 lefties: Rizzo, Calhoun, and Bowers or Oswaldo.
Yeah, Oswaldo. I kind of liked Oswaldo in the 9 hole there as your switch to flip the lineup. I guess I'm interested to see. We're in full blown Bowers Calhoun figure it out mode, right?
A little bit.
Like if Stanton.
Calhoun's doesn't offer you much, so the fact that Bowers can run is helpful.
Right, but if Bowers doesn't hit it all and Willie does, Willie Calhoun could land in a Matt Carpenter type role where he's your pinch hitter for the catcher.
Bowers does
deal.
a better job faking outfield than Willie does, but
it also
faking.
Hasn't been special out there. In fact, he hasn't been good, and his stats are pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, but neither Calhoun's not. No one's hitting.
Willie's been hitting recently.
I don't think so. I think
it's nothing. It's nothing to write home about.
I think he's got 3 hits in his last 4 games.
He's
got 3 hits in his last 6 games.
Last 12 games, he's got an 856 OPS.
But what is that? Just 1 homer?
3 homers. So again, I mean, we're cutting straws between Bowers and Willie here, but
I don't think the offense is enough to warrant having no other ability for Calhoun.
I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
If we're sitting here, Stanton's back in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and Willie has an 800 OPS in the month and Bowers hasn't done much, it's a conversation.
It seems like it's going to be between the 2 of them. So
yeah, Bowers is the Tampa killer though. So all right, that's the episode. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you. See you later. Goodbye. Go Yanks. Tell them Grams.
Go Yankees.